Welcome once again to Cherry TV. You're here with the co-owners Lazy Pete and myself, James Young, the booker of the bands. What's coming up this week at Cherry? Well, as you know, on Monday night we've got Cherry Jam, where your band can play on the Cherry stage. Actually, last Monday we had Evan Dando played on a Monday night at Cherry Jam, and Spencer P. Jones got up and played with him. It was a very, very tasty Monday night at Cherry Bar. And remember, if you want to book your band, email red@cherrybar.com.au. Tuesday night, something a little bit different. We've got a Weezer pre-party. Weezer are in town. You know, they're playing a couple of their albums in full. They're playing at the Sydney Myer Music Bowl. But on Tuesday night, we're doing a Weezer pre-party. Unofficial, Lazy Pete, just for your information. And we have a bunch of bands playing and paying tribute to Weezer, playing their favourite Weezer songs. Abraham Lincoln. Emperor, who by the way have just won some competition and are being flown, all expenses paid for, to Los Angeles to audition for a music label over there. Emperor and Red X, our regular Tuesday residency band, all playing their favourite Weezer songs for you. It's free entry. That'll be a fun Tuesday night. Wednesday night at Cherry Bar, we continue our residency. It's quite popular with that shoegaze band Flying Colours with two Ys. But this week's support is quite interesting. We've got a German band called Dos Hermanos. They are a two-piece band from Germany who specialise in being rather minimalist and unusual. They play scrap metal. So they're going to arrive in the country. The arty.
Not metal.
No, not metal. Scrap metal. So they're going to go to the scrap yards. What do we call them in Australia? We're going to get car doors. They're going to get rubbish tin lids. And they go to the tip. And they are going to. And the tip is they're worth checking out. Very highly regarded. They're being brought out by Anto from the Puta Madre brothers. He's all over the world all the time. He says they're one of the most interesting bands he's ever seen. And they're playing for free on a Wednesday night at Cherry Bar. The German two-piece band Dos Hermanos, supporting the Flying Colours. And then on Thursday night, Pete, it's Soul in the Basement with our DJs.
Vince Peach and Pierre Baroni.
$10 entry as always. Doors open at 5. We start charging from 8 p.m. till 5 a.m. This week's live band from 10 to 10:45 is the popular Soul House and the Spokesman. Great night of soul. We had an incredible soul night last week. Pete, Sharon Jones and the Dap Kings, Charles Bradley and the Menahan Street Band, and Sasquatch all coming to Cherry Bar to party and celebrate, enjoy the tunes of Vince, the Prince Peach and Pierre Baroni. So make your way to the Soul in the Basement night, the world's longest running weekly soul night in its 13th year at the Cherry Bar. Fridays, it's the last week of our mini January residency from Spencer P. Jones. He's the Keith Richards of New Zealand / Melbourne / Australia. And he'll be playing 2 sets from about 5-ish till about 8:30. Very pleasant way to start your weekend. Later that night, we've got Wicked City, River of Snakes, great band, and the headline act is The Ruiner. Now, you won't have heard of The Ruiner, Lazy Pete, but this is their first ever gig anywhere in the world. It's happening at Cherry Bar, and they are made up of some famous cunts. The Ruiner is a heavy band. Think Black Sabbath, think Godflesh, made up of members of Blood Duster. I was going to say Spiderbait there, Christbait I meant to say, and also Dern Rutledge. The guys from Dern Rutledge tell me that this band shits all over Dern Rutledge, which they were in, so they're allowed to say that, and that was one of my favourite bands. They're called The Ruiner. They are heavy. It's their first ever show, and they're playing at Cherry on that Friday night with a really good lineup. River of Snakes and Wicked City for $13. $10 after 11 with Cherry DJs till 5 a.m. Saturday night, the Vendettas, the Jacks and Indian Miner play at Cherry Bar. On Sunday, we're getting towards the end, Lazy Pete, of a 1-year residency on Sundays from Chris Russell's Chicken Walk. I've been playing with Max Crawdaddy at his Sunday Blues afternoon. They end up their week after week after week after 52-week residency at the end of January, and things are flying for their band thanks to all the support from the Cherry Bar. They're now playing, I see they're playing the Dinny Blues Festival with Tony Joe White, Chris Isaac. Anyway, they have taken off. They're invited to play at Golden Plains this year. They're on their way. We'd love to see some of the people who go to Golden Plains at Cherry Bar on a Sunday afternoon checking out Chris Russell's Chicken Walk with Max Crawdaddy DJing. Doors open at 2, live music starts at 3, 2 sets from Chris Russell with, of course, Dean Mueller, the drummer from Cosmic Psychos, on drums. Fantastic little bit of blues action. Later that night, Sunday night at Cherry Bar, don't tell any of the other owners, but we've got a little bit of drum and bass happening at Cherry Bar. Cal Tom's William Blacksland and the Mercury Theatre. Lazy Pete actually secretly probably knows these people. But they have got a bit of a drum and bass feel. I could get my head punched in as we have these up-and-coming quality acts from Melbourne playing a, let's face it, very different genre for Cherry Bar and AC/DC Lane, but we'll give them a crack on a Sunday night. We'll see how it goes. Bring your lollipops. I was talking to my brother Mitchie last night. He said once he took too much stuff and his epiglottis swelled up to the size that he thought he was sucking on a Chubba Chup. It was actually his epiglottis. And when he went to the doctor and they tried to explain why he had the swollen features of his throat, he said they had an allergic reaction to a kiwi fruit. So advice at Cherry Bar is stay away from the kiwi fruit. Just drink the ice cold beers at Cherry Bar and AC/DC Lane. This has been James Young and Lazy Pete for Cherry TV.
Bye.